All right, Ravens flock, we need to talk. We need to talk about a name that just popped up on the radar, a name that maybe you've written off, maybe you've forgotten, but let me tell you, this guy could be a serious wild card for Baltimore's offensive line. I'm talking about Kenyon Green. Yeah, that Kenyon Green, former first-round pick, big-time SEC mauler from Texas A&M. And guess what? The Ravens just brought him in for a tryout. That's not smoke, that's movement. Now look, I get it. Some of y'all are already shaking your heads. He's washed, injured, didn't do squat in Houston. And yes, the resume in the NFL so far hasn't matched the hype. Let's break it down real. This man was drafted 15th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft by the Texans. That's not late first, that's not second round, that's mid-first, baby. You only use that kind of draft capital on someone you think is going to anchor your line for a decade. But Green, he barely lasted 3 seasons in Houston. Injuries, inconsistencies, and flat-out underperformance plagued his time there. He appeared in just 29 out of a possible 55 games and started 23. That's barely over 50%. He missed the entire 2023 season with a brutal shoulder injury, and in 2024, the Texans benched him going into the playoffs. He didn't even dress for those games. Think about that. First rounder, not even trusted in postseason. So Houston gave up on him. In March of this year, they shipped him off to Philly, and not for a huge haul either. They flipped him for C.J. Gardner-Johnson and a pick swap. On paper, that seems like a move, but Philly clearly wasn't sold either. He didn't make the 53-man roster out of training camp and was cut loose again after bouncing around practice squads. He was waived just this week after the Eagles brought in a return specialist. The truth is, the league has cooled on Green hard. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite all that, the Ravens, yes, our Ravens, called him in for a look. And if you know anything about how Baltimore handles roster business, you know this isn't random. This isn't some lazy flyer. This is calculated. They see something. Eric DaCosta doesn't waste visits on dead weight. They believe there's a chance this kid still has it. And if he does, if even a little bit of that college tape still lives in him, we might be staring at a mid-season jackpot. Now let's not forget who Kenyon Green was before the NFL humbled him. At Texas A&M, he was a 2-time consensus All-American. That's not just a one-hit wonder college wonder. That's dominance across multiple seasons. He was a Lombardi Award finalist. That's the award for the best lineman in all of college football. That means something. He was praised for his balance, strength at the point of attack, and his physicality in the run game. Scouts loved his drive. They called him a tone setter, not finesse, not soft, a brawler, a mauler, the kind of guy that Baltimore has always loved up front. That's Ravens football, man. And let's be honest with ourselves right now. This offensive line needs help. I don't care what Harbaugh said in his press conference. Yes, he defended the group. Yes, he backed Coach Warhop's grades, but we saw Week 3 with our own eyes. 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson against the Lions? That wasn't just one bad series. That was a breakdown. That was a collapse in the trenches. And when the protection crumbles, Lamar gets hit, the run game dies, and the whole offense sputters. You can't have that if you're serious about a deep postseason run. You just can't. Daniel Falale, look, I'm rooting for the guy. Massive frame, raw potential, seems like a good dude, but he's struggling. Pass protection isn't there yet. Andrew Voorhees, also a great story. Coming off injury, showing flashes, but inconsistent. We don't have that rock on the inside right now. And the depth, not elite. You're telling me you wouldn't take a shot on a guy with Kenyon Green's upside in a year where the offensive line is your soft spot? Come on now. Best case, he turns the corner, gets healthy, and pushes for a starting job. Worst case, he flames out and gets cut like he did in Philly. But the cost of that risk is basically nothing. And the reward? You unlock a former top 15 pick who might finally be in the right system with the right coaching staff. I'm not saying he's a lock. I'm not saying we throw him in week 6 and call it a day. But I am saying this is exactly the kind of move the Ravens specialize in. Low risk, high upside. Hungry player, chip on the shoulder. Baltimore has a history of reviving careers. Look no further than guys like Michael Pierce, Josh Bynes, even Alejandro Villanueva found some footing here. This franchise knows how to plug the right pieces into a strong culture. And let me say this loud and clear. If there's any part of that 2022 Kenyon Green still in there, if even a flicker of that college dominance is left, putting him in a room with Kevin Zeitler, Tyler Linderbaum, Ronnie Stanley, and Warhop's coaching, that could be dangerous, real dangerous. We'll dive deeper into what Green would actually bring to this offense in Chapter 2, how his skill set translates to our schemes, how he could potentially fit into Monken's system, and what his impact would be short and long term. But for now, I want to know from you. Would you take a chance on Kenyon Green? Do the Ravens need more help on the line than Harbaugh's letting on? Drop your take in the comments, smash that like if you're riding with the purple flock, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more raw, passionate Ravens coverage right here on Ravens Wire Report.